Cute, sexy, and fun. You're watching CSF Nation's own WMK TV, Channel 90. They asked for censorship, and now they're crying for Gamergate 3. I can't tell you guys, you simply cannot make this ish up.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
Make this up. It is absolute insanity. We're going to go over Chibi reviews this video, and then we're gonna, hear straight from the horse's mouth. From the horse's mouth of what is going on with this absolute crash out. Plus, we will cover the Adobe situation. In fact, we'll react a video from Rev Says Desu a little bit later. But this is very interesting, and all it does is show how much the pushback is working, how much you guys are putting the pressure on. And yeah, I'm thinking Mr. Ed or something like that. Yeah, just is absolutely insanity. So let's get right into it. Good morning, CSF Nation. I'm Makini 90 yours, German Illustrator. Welcome you to Makini in the morning. Hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. Thank you for tuning in and getting your morning started off on the right foot with us here. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Thank you, everybody, for showing up on yesterday's Makini Live. That was a lot of fun show. Big thank you to Mr. Bug for stopping by, too. That was a really, really fun show. So today we are picking up where we left off. The first thing we're covering is Collective Shout. We're covering the crash out from them. It is going to be very interesting on that. And we're also going to be covering the Adobe situation. So this is basically a way to make up for yesterday's show. In the meantime, I am going to be continuing. We're almost done with the gray tones on Kiki's redesign. It's looking good. It is definitely looking good, and we will hopefully be finishing it by that. So, but the first thing we're going to go over is Chibi Reviews' video, as people are definitely taking that victory lap celebration, but much needed. It's showing that we are putting the pressure on, and now they're crying over they're crying Gamergate 3 now. So this is hilarious. This is absolutely hilarious. So you guys know exactly what to do, and I really appreciate you guys doing it.
Hey, if you're enjoying this program, please smack that like button and make a jiggle.
And smack that subscribe button if you want to see more art content from Makini. Thank you so much, and hope you enjoy the show.
Later.
Smack that like button, make a jiggle. Smack that subscribe button, make a jiggle. You guys have been absolutely amazing. We're trying to get to 4K. Despite the fact that YouTube keeps pushing us down, but we ain't stopping. We ain't stopping. Let's get right into it. Speaking of which, take it away, Jellywig.
Dangerous. Let's up those numbers. That's not
good. All right, let's get right into it. We're going to shift over to the main screen here. Let me zoom to the main screen here. Excellent, excellent. And let's go share the screen let's go share the entire screen now, shall we? So before we do that, let's go say hi to everybody in CSF Nation. Say everybody in the chat. Say hi to everybody in the chat before we jump into it. I probably didn't explain the whole thing quickly, but I will definitely do so. Anyway, Power, good morning to you. Thank you for the news yesterday, Power. Really appreciate that. That dude next door, good to see you. Which horse, Mr. Ed? You know, there's a lot of horses. I think a lot of horses are good. Some of them are going straight to the glue factory, if you know what I'm talking about. So, Mr. Ed. Sean, good morning. What the heck is Adobe? Oh, that's what stuff my girl puts on food. And speaking of my fellow Clippy in arms, Neo J, good to see you. Let's get both to 4K. I know, right? Dude, I've been losing subs, man, and it's like, damn, I don't know what the hell to do. So we're trying. We're just chugging along. It ain't stopping us. It ain't stopping us. So before we get into the, the pièce de résistance for the article itself, what I want to do first is go over Chibi Reviews' video. Going over this is about 9 minutes. We'll go into it. So, guys, if you guys are not subscribed to Chibi Reviews, please do so. Really enjoy this man. Really enjoy him covering the situation since they won, and really appreciate them. And also, congratulations to Chibi Reviews for his appendix surgery. So, really appreciate that. I do not play Uma Musume, sir, but I know who does, and it's likely Snowdub. Don't tell him I said that. he loves horses on his channel. You know how much he loves horses. Anyway. Right into it. Oh my god, thank you guys so much. That's been amazing. Smack like on 1 second, I'll be right back. All right, let's get right into it, guys. This is from Chibi Reviews. This is from Chibi Reviews. I will put the full link to his video in the description. Once again, congrats. Surgery. Okay, fully recovering. Up. Let's do this, and then we'll go straight into the actual article itself. So. All right, and music is up, so I know Penny's listening and jamming at the same time. Let's continue, shall we? Let's continue. All right, here we go. We're fired up.
There's a leaked Collective Shout email newsletter circulating around, and this email showcases how hypocritical they are, but also how they are crybullies. I want to remind everybody, almost 3 weeks ago, this group was responsible for contacting payment processors like Visa and MasterCard, and thanks to them contacting these payment processors, it's the reason why Steam had to create an entirely new policy to bend over backwards and kiss the boot of payment processors. Why itch.io removed their entire adult game category. They are the reason. They are the cause of it. And the thing is that Collective Shout, when this happened, made newsletters.
And we appreciate Collective Shout, this group of miserable feminists, for, you know, bragging about it, for basically bragging about it and continuing their crusade, because now they want to go after legalized content as well. Huh. Tell me you're evil without telling me you're evil. Take this W, guys. Take this as a W, because yeah, they're panicking.
Articles, statements on social media and everything, and even their members bragging about getting games censored, getting freedom of expression censored, getting just like gamers upset. They were bragging, they were happy. It really shows that they were very joyfully happy at that moment for what they did. But what they underestimated in that moment is the animosity, the anger of the sleeping beast that is gamers. Because obviously, anime and manga fans, we are a niche community. We are a community that, yes, it has grown a lot bigger over the years, but if there is one community you collectively do not mess with, it is gamers. Because gamers, just like anime and manga fans, they stick to themselves. But there is a lot more gamers than anime and manga fans. And when you piss off majority of gamers, it's over. It's like the Eye of Sauron awoken. They are focusing you. They are not going to stop watching you, and they are going to make sure that you never get away with what you've done before. And so in this case, I just find it so ironic that this group, Collective Shout, that has done so much damage to gaming, just gaming alone, are acting like there's false allegations against them when they have been caught in lie after lie, spreading false things about, for instance, Savvy. For instance, Madam Savvy that, has been fully covering this entire situation, even going as far as
they still won't acknowledge Madam Savvy as a woman, by the way. They can't fathom that's how pathetic they are. They can't fathom the idea of actual women opposing their ideology, women opposing what they're actually saying. It's hilarious. This is absolute cinema here. This is absolute cinema. The fact that they won't even acknowledge other women calling them out is just, it's just chef's kiss. They don't care about standing up for women. They don't care about standing up for women and abuse victims. They don't care about that. They never did. This is all affront to power. Okay? This is a blatant, all affront to power.
To label her a man when she's obviously a woman. Just a brief look at her profile says that. And they went on to kind of attack or accuse any woman that sides with gamers, trying to either label them a man or just, being absolutely vindictive against them, and even saying that a woman being somewhat attractive is wrong. Just this group in general, for instance, Collective Shout, is just such a malicious group that honestly, they're just a bunch of angry Karens, I'm just going to say it, that legit have nothing going on in their lives. They have nothing better to do but then go after fiction. But I'm getting off topic. One thing I want to talk about here is this email. And so let's read this real quick, and then we're going to get into dissecting it. So this is what Collective Shout said in their email. Over the last 2 weeks, we have been subjected to the largest coordinated cyber attack in Collective Shout's 15-year history. Now, I honestly doubt that they have been under a cyber attack. It's possible. But the reason why is because this group, once again, they are crybullies. They lie. They actively lie so easily. They've been caught in so many lies. They lied about an email from a non-work.
They are active crybullies. They have been caught in 4K for the past 3 weeks at this point. We're 3 weeks into this whole shebang here, this whole shindig, and they have been caught in 4K multiple times. And they're never going to take any form of accountability for their actions. They're never going to take any. That's what makes it even more, that's what makes him impulsive even more. Just like they won't reverse course. They will not. They will not see the error of their own ways, and they are clearly in the Kool-Aid. They're clearly just beyond reparation at this point. So, you know what? You've united the internet. It's not just that it's not just that the gamers are clapping back, but it's the internet itself. You pissed off the internet. Now the internet is clapping back. And you know what? This is on you. You awaken the sleeping giant. This is on you. Yes, your stuff is going to get exposed to everyone.
Domain, for instance, a website that doesn't even exist, and then like after they, people started calling them out for this, the domain was made within an hour. They are known liars. So I can't really believe that they've been under a cyber attack. If I had to assume when they say cyber attack, they're more or less saying criticism, people calling them out for their lies, their bullying and what they have done to gaming and anime and manga culture, freedom of expression, contacting payment processors, all sorts of different things. I'm assuming that's what's actually going on, and more or less they're just trying to act like it's a bigger deal than it really is. But let's continue reading. Our team has been hit with a daily barrage of vile abuse and harassment. We have been bombarded with threats. Our images have been morphed into porn. We have been doxxed. Haters have circulated our photos and tried to find our home addresses. So I'm going to call this out real quick. So first off, if you go to Collective Shout's main page here and you go to the About section and you click Our Team, they legitimately give their full names out. They give their
We don't condone any of this. And at the same time, I find it hard to believe you're just playing the victims. You're just playing the victims because, for the most part, we are basically showing everything you said, everything that you've done against you. We have shown the mirror to everyone in the world, and this is on you. This is on freaking you. So yeah, I might be a little fired up this morning, but you know what? It's well deserved.
Pictures out. Hell, even in the email that you can see here, the full email, they actually actively put their photos down here as well in the email. So they're not necessarily hiding themselves. Everybody knows. They even have links to like their Facebook and LinkedIn, all that gives basically where they went to college at, where they potentially live, friends associated with them. They're not necessarily hiding their information. So you can't necessarily say that this is a dox when they legitimately are actively showcasing everything here. But regardless, let's get back into the main point. 10 petitions were launched against us, full of false accusations. Elon Musk retweeted one of them. There are currently hundreds of YouTube videos slandering us. What has caused this vicious
slander? Okay, hundreds of YouTube videos slandering you. You mean criticizing you and showing you exactly what you're doing. But that's slander. And in the cases if I'm one of those hundreds of YouTube videos slandering you, hi, nice to meet you. Say hi, everyone. Say hello to Collective Shout, everyone. Hi.
Just pile on. Or I wonder what caused it. Was it you jumping for joy gleefully after you got thousands of games removed, effectively damaging Steam and itch.io's brand permanently, causing the ire of the collective internet to focus in on you? I wonder what happened. I wonder. Was it because you guys defending cuties? Was it because you decided to actually defend exploitation of people, kids? But you'll go after fictional content? I wonder what caused all this. Very curious. Anyways, let's, my sarcasm aside, let's keep reading. So the next part of it is protect the movement. Our enemies are trying.
It's good to know. It is good to know that I was right in what I said a while back. Yeah, so the mask is lifted off. We are officially, the people who are against Collective Shout, the people who have been calling out Collective Shout for their actions, we are officially their enemies. I mean, it's good to know that you went mask off. It's good to know that, it's good to know that you went mask off, and good to know that you ain't hiding it anymore at this point. You officially see everybody against you as your enemy. Well, for some people, I guess the feeling is mutual, isn't it? Collective shout. Continue.
Trying to destroy our operating systems. They've gone after our global allies, charitable partners, ambassadors, and other backers. They tried to get social media platforms to shut us down, but we won't let them. Your tax-deductible gift today will protect the movement. Donate $1,000 and protect.
They are begging for money. They are begging for money, ladies and gentlemen. Listen. Tell me. Look me in the eye and tell me these people aren't grifters. Tell me they're not grifters. Please. Please. Everyone in the chat, tell me that they're not the real grifters around here. I will wait. Oh, this is lovely. So now you're begging for money. Begging to quote unquote protect the movement. Oh my goodness, you can't make this up. You simply cannot make this.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up.
It's so funny. Oh, it's so funny. Let's continue.
Protect collective shout. Protect those that don't want to protect children. Protect those that want to defend cuties to the end of the days. What a disgusting group. I see it. Oh my goodness. Obviously, just I'm gonna just say it like it is, man. This group is just. I understand that they're a front for the main enemy. Like, to get into this, okay, I do need to state this. Collective Shout, obviously, is more or less a puppet. They are someone that is the face of what's been going on behind the scenes. For instance, like what payment processors have been doing, banks, Visa, MasterCard, and stuff, all these different type of things in governments. Collective Shout, more or less, is the people that are the fall guy, or fall girl in this case. But they are still a bad group. But do not forget that there's going to be many groups like this that are going to spawn thanks to Collective Shout. Collective Shout has proven, now with their track record, that you can contact payment processors to get things removed. Mm-hmm. And this will cause groups to rise up. Groups very similar to them on both sides of the political spectrum to start doing stuff like this. And obviously that's going to get messy. That's going to get bad. And the point here is that the fact that the internet is rallying against them and obviously calling them out is a good thing, because this could scare other groups from trying these similar tactics. They'll be a lot more sneakier. However, I want to go in and reinforce this. That Collective Shout isn't the main.
Turn tail and hide like cockroaches, just like what we saw with Sweet Baby Inc. The moment they reveal themselves to the public, then they go into hiding. Then they're going to take their tactics and they're going to be much more discreet about it. They're going to sweep the censorship. They're going to put the censorship under the rug, using it as a front, basically. So that's why I tell people, remain vigilant. Don't remain vigilant. And just like how with Master the TDS Right Raven is with Sweet Baby Inc., stay alert. Just stay alert. Keep eyes on them. Keep a freaking eye on them. That's all I gotta say.
The reason all this is happening. The real big person behind all of this is clearly the governments and the payment processors, because they're the ones that made the final decision to actually cause Steam and itch.io and these different Japanese sites and anime and stuff to censor themselves. So do not forget that. We also need to remember that these payment processors were forcing, for instance, like Japan to censor itself before even Collective Shout came into the picture. Now, we know that they've been involved with anime and manga stuff. Like, for instance, in Australia, they were backing senators and stuff back in 2020 for it. But we can't probably say that they were for everything that happened in Japan. So we do need to remember that they aren't the only person that is doing this. There will be groups that rise up or try to be a little bit more hidden thanks to the situation. They will just go back into the shadows and try to be more secretive, because what this group effectively did, as I said at the beginning of the video, they activated the Eye of Sauron. They got everybody to focus them, and if they would have stayed quiet, they wouldn't have said anything. It's very likely that none of this would have happened towards their group, and it would have just been solely focused on payment processors. So that is something I do want to point out, is that if they wouldn't have jumped for joy and been happy about it, this wouldn't have happened to them. Sometimes you fall on your own sword. In this case, that's kind of what they did. So anyways, getting into the main point of the conversation, this leaked email that came out is a bunch of garbage. It's just like the fact that they're begging for money, the fact that they are saying that there's false allegations against them and everything. It's just like, this group is so disgusting. The more I find out about this group, the more I see about this group, the more I'm disgusted by them, because I've already called out their, hypocrisy. A lot of other content creators like Hero Hey or Rev has probably done as well. Madam Savvy too, obviously. She's done extensive research into this. But it's just, the more I see about this group, the more I just realize, like, I don't know how this group was able to get away with it for so long. Just out in the open like this. Like, you could see their roots entrenched in so many different news articles and things over the years. Like, if you were to go to different, like, articles about games and stuff, about, like, female characters, you will legitimately see them attached to some. Like, some of their names. Like, Melinda, for instance, one of the big ones that's, like, a part of the Collective Shouts group. You'll see her in different articles. And I just think it's really shocking how they managed to go for so long.
It's a combination. What ultimately comes down to is that it's a combination of what we saw back in 2015, 2014 with GG1, and a combination of that and Sweet Baby Inc. Basically, what we saw at Sweet Baby Inc. last year. They're basically following those same kind of tactics, following that exact same mindset, mentality, and ideology. They're not protecting women and children. They're not protecting abuse victims. This is not a front. This is not what it is. This is power. That's what they want. This is power. This is control. And they're just using that as a shield. They're using their cause as basically a shield for their criticism, when really it's just exposes them even more. I honestly feel that this group is more vile than Sweet Baby Inc., to be honest with you. I'm gonna be blatantly honest with you. I find this group to be much more vile than Sweet Baby Inc. Somehow Kim Belair and her gaggle of morons are the lesser of two evils here. Someone's probably gonna quote that anyway. Continue.
Without really being noticed, but yeah, it doesn't look like that's gonna happen anytime soon. But yeah, I'll leave it at that. Wanted to bring this to everybody's attention. Obviously, call Collective Shout out for their hypocrisy. But I love you guys. Be safe, stay healthy. Chibi out.
Yeah, so that was Chibi Reviews. Major. Thank you. Check Chibi Reviews out. So let's go ahead and get into the horse's mouth here real quick, because now Collective Shout. So let's go over to Smash JT. Let's go over to this dude named Smash JT. Let's see the leaks in full, and let's go ahead and read them out, shall we? This is going to be absolute golden. So, Collective Shout has been caught sending out emails labeling anyone daring to question their authoritarian approach as enemies. That doesn't sound like something the victim would say. No, it's totally, yeah, it is. This is how the grift works. And V, our favorite Romanian troll, makes a good point. This is how the grift works. Antagonize the internet, play victim, ask for a donation and charity and tax deductibles, rinse and repeat. And guarantee you that there will be more companies like this. Because they want, this is censorship of freedom of expression. This is censorship in general. That's what this is about. They have the power to influence the payment processors, and now they think that they can delete anything they don't like. Delete and even, let's be honest here, deplatform anything, and I mean anything that they don't like. That's what it comes down to. These are a group of wannabe hall monitors. They are a group of pathetic wannabe hall monitors. And yes, I will not stop talking about that because they need to be opposed. They need to, because they can't go on, man. Because they're taking stuff away little by little. So, yeah. That's why I tell people to keep put the pressure on. But let's continue. The last 2 weeks have been subjected to a cyber attack and collective shouts 15-year history. You mean actual criticism is a cyber attack to you? Our team has been hit with a daily barrage of vile abuse and harassment. Really? You mean actually showing you the exact options of what you're doing, the exact things that what you guys have been doing. The fact that you refuse to label Madam Savvy as an actual woman, the fact that you even refuse to acknowledge the fact that actual women are against you because it breaks your movement, it breaks your whole ideology. And you're calling that you're calling that into a vile abuse and harassment. We've been bombarded with rape and death threats. Our image has been morphed into poontang. We have been doxxed. Haters have collected. I love how you use the word haters. Haters have circulated our photos and tried to find our home address. Your information is already in the public. You put it on the damn website, guys. Who are you trying to fool here? Who are you trying to fool here? Let's continue. Our enemies. I love this. It's just that's the thing that just kills me. Our enemies. So now the mask has slipped. The mask has completely slipped off. So now people who have opposed your authoritarian censorship, this is authoritarianism plain and through, are officially your enemies. At least you are honest. At least we appreciate you for being honest for once. Oh, they're going after our global allies, charitable partners, ambassadors, and backers. You mean the same way that you went after payment platforms to get people's games deplatformed, by the way? To effectively hurt people's livelihoods? You mean that way? You mean the tactics that you guys have been using? The fact that you've harassed bakeries, you've harassed developers, adult games, and such like that. And you went after a charity for breast cancer research. And now you want to cry the victim. Now you want to cry the victim because of what you guys just did to gamers, what you guys just did consumers. I'm sorry, but my sympathy is very little to none for this very group. You can't go out of your way to go after people's payment processors and effectively hurting people's livelihoods. Effectively using mafia tactics to get what you want, to dictate what people can and cannot purchase, what media people can and cannot consume. You've been using mafia tactics for the longest time, and now you're crying victim because people are clapping back and showing everyone exactly who you truly are. We won't. They tried to get our social media platform to shut it down, but they won't. But we won't let them. You're taxed to double. This is. They don't care, guys. You talk about freedom of speech. You talk about freedom of expression when you're trampling on others' freedom of expression. Like, seriously. Like, you cannot, like, the lack of self-awareness, the lack of actual self-awareness and accountability. You will brag about it when it works in your favor. When it works in your favor, you will happily brag about it. But then when you get the pushback, you want to cry the victim. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You see why I'm very adamant against this? Why I'm very, very adamant against this whole thing. It's just brilliant, man. Our opponents. We were your enemies first. Now we're your opponents. They made it clear. That's why we need your help right now to protect the movement. A movement that tracked its biggest years of victories ever, such as taking away people's freedom to actually choose what they can and can purchase. That's your victories, right? Just check their... It sounds like screw all this. Just check their hard drives. Sorry for being a little... I know I'm being a little passionate about this, but damn, man. Just damn, y'all. Just, like, for real. Who are you trying to... Like, for real, who are you trying to fool? Like, seriously. Oh my god, man. I don't know, man. I just don't know. Man. We shouldn't let up. That's my stance. We shouldn't let up because it continues. They won't stop. And now in their article, they're crying. They want to cry. They want to echo some kind of like Gamergate 3 at this point, and it's like, no. You ain't doing this. You're not going to try this. You are not going to try this stunt. People have tried this stunt before and it backfired. Okay? This is people have tried this stunt before and it backfired. So nah, bruh. Nah, the pushback has got to be stronger. The pushback is strong. And now they run it. This is the consequences of your actions. You want to try to take over what other people decide, what other people can and can't do. This is what happens. You do not look like the heroes in this situation. You've gone so bad that you've got people from the freaking UN trying to retweet and condemn us too, trying to condemn your critics too. That's how bad it's got. It's brilliant, man. It's brilliant. It's absolutely fucking brilliant. Yeah, Uno reverse cards the whole way too. Uno reverse cards the whole way through, man. Now you got the entire internet. You got the entire internet at you because you don't give a damn about women. You care about crushing anybody who disagrees with you, who remotely opposes your ideology, remotely opposes your mentality. Because you want everything to be in lockstep. You don't want people to act. You cannot disseminate fiction from reality because this is about fictional content. Meanwhile, your guys, your assholes were caught in 4K defending a film that is about it involved real children. Surprised you didn't say a damn thing about Sound to Free Them either. I'm very curious about that. Whew. It's pathetic, man. It's just absolutely pathetic. These people are the true cry bullies. These people are true cry bullies. So yes, I will not stop talking about them. And I hope other people will not stop talking about them either. Speaking of which, I want to highlight a couple of tweets from Madam Savvy because here's some fallout from it. Mav Savvy has been basically on the ground doing all of this, making sure everybody gets notified. It's brilliant. It's just absolutely brilliant. So, I've been blocked by another pro-woman group for the crime of dissing Brian. Not so pro-woman, are you? If men decide to stop working tomorrow, you starve to death. If men stop maintaining your AC, you finally bitch about that more than men. You exist because a man participated. So if you're so eager to end humanity, why not lead by example? Don't want that, by all means, welcome to your beliefs. I personally think men, without them, we wouldn't know the safety to be able to get to this point where we can lament on the internet without men. And I have the life I get to where I can focus on art and write for myself. So weird how all this misandrous support Melissa Tinker Rice. Perhaps the extremism should be stuff, but these are misandrist extremists. These are misandrist extremists, straight up. That's what it comes down to. It keeps going. Of course, Anna Valance, sack of crap. They wanted a conversation. Myself and oh wow, they got Collective Shop trending for a bit. Because women oppose you, and it's like, this is what happens, man. Not everybody's going to be in lockstep with you. Like, seriously. Oh my god. Oh man. It's brilliant. It's just absolutely brilliant, man. It's just absolutely brilliant, and that's how I see it. So let's go to the comments. Let's go to the comments, and then we're gonna move on to the next part as we are inching close to as I'm just kind of chugging along with the grayscale on Kiki right now, and it is definitely getting there. So let's get to the comments real quick because everybody's just crazy. Well said, my friends. Lil Taylor pre-order customers on OF because Sound of Freedom is an actual good film. They probably don't like it. These people love to judge everyone. They don't watch. Yeah, exactly. An alright clip shot should be exposed sooner in the public. Corrective roast, more like it. Damn. Yeah, man. Here's my thing, dude. This is my thing, dude. It's like I'm stuck. I'm behind this. I'm behind this, and I'm behind the pushback because they can't get away with it. They can't keep getting away with it. That's what it comes down to. And I've noticed that I've been losing subscribers this past week, and I think it's due to me unwilling to stop covering shit like this because that's how important this is. YouTube is rolling out the AI generated YouTube is rolling out the AI assisted regulations to them, determining, if your channel is actual 18 or not. And they're going to roll that whole thing out on Wednesday. This is all a coordinated effort. Everything that's been going on is a coordinated effort. This is the definition of a glass jaw. Yeah. It is. But all of this is going on, and it's just rolling out the whole thing, man. This whole censorship is something I'm gonna stand against for. I'm gonna happily take a stand against for it, So I think that this is very important. Or join the club. Oh, join the club. Let's lose subs together. I'm trying not to, man. I don't know what's going on. But I'm not gonna stop talking about this because I do think that all of this is important. And I especially think that the Adobe situation is very important as well. So, you know what? Let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's get right into the let's get right into the Adobe situation. So I'm gonna bring up a video from Rev Says Desu because let's be honest here, they're doing a lot better job in explaining this whole thing than I am right now. So, but I will, but It's very, very interesting. So this from Rev says Desu. I'm going to put a link.
Hey, what's up, guys? We're here. So today, once again, talk about censorship-related issues. Now, over the past couple of weeks, we've spent a lot of time talking about collective shout, as well as payment processors like Visa and MasterCard. Now, today, we're going to go a little beyond those groups, but I want to start off by talking about the most recent development, and then we'll get into the main topics for today. And as always, in case you're not familiar with the new changes on YouTube, even if you watch a video in its entirety, your view might not count unless you're a quote-unquote engaged viewer, aka someone who likes, comments, or subscribes. So doing those actions helps your view count and helps promote my video and spread the message like we're going to talk about today involving.
So guys, please smack that like button, make it jiggle. Smack that subscribe button, make it jiggle. Please leave a comment, guys, because I think that's how I'm going to grow. I think at this point, that's how I'm going to be able to grow and get to that 4K is the engagement, is the actual engagement. So guys, make sure you leave a comment at the end of the stream. Make sure you stay engaged with everything that I've been doing so far. Really helps out. If you want, it really does help out, guys. So definitely stay engaged.
Censorship-related concerns. Now, like I said, we're going to start with collective shout. There was a petition on change.org where there was hundreds of thousands of signatures on a petition going after that group, a group of feminists in Australia pushing for censorship, not just in their country, but across the globe. And they have been very successful recently with their new campaign where they put pressure on payment processors like Visa and MasterCard, which then in turn causes platforms like Steam or itch.io to censor or ban related games that are featuring adult content or really anything that is problematic in the eyes.
So basically what happened, and Vera Dark was the first one who brought this up, but apparently one of the petitions going after collective shout, which amassed over 100,000 signatures, has been removed by change.org, and Vera Dark has been blocked by the actual Twitter account of change.org. Not only that, change.org Twitter account has basically been on a blocking spree in general. So I think it just shows that they've been compromised. Change.org has been compromised for years. So, I think ever since that Canada trucker protest, I think change.org has definitely been compromised, and now people are utilizing Give Send Go for this. But yeah, it's absolutely insanity that change.org is not only took down the petition against collective shout, but now they're starting to block people over it, such as Vera Dark. It's going to get crazy, guys. It's just going to continue to ramp up.
Of these groups like collective shout. But anyways, this is the quick update. The change.org petition involving collective shout has been removed. Yes, this is very spooky stuff because at the end of the day, pretty much anything can exist on change.org. You could start a petition for pretty much anything at this point.
Change.org had a freaking petition for Carmelo Anthony. The same Carmelo Anthony who stabbed and killed Austin Metcalf in Frisco, Texas, a couple of months ago. Change.org had a freaking petition up for Carmelo Anthony's bail. I am not kidding. And then they also had the same. They also had the petition up for that mother who who was caught flipping the bird off of flipping a bird at a 4-year-old. Flipping the bird at a 4-year-old in the kindergartens whole thing. It guys, I'm not kidding. They Change.org had an actual petition for Carmelo Anthony. Yeah, the same Carmelo Anthony who stabbed Austin Metcalf to death, basically. So yeah, Power knows what I'm talking about. I knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Point, and I'm sure it will be left standing. But this one involving Collective Shout has been taken down. Little suspicious, if you ask me. But, of course, like I said, that's the only real news we have with Collective Shout today. But there's a lot of censorship-related concerns involving other platforms, beginning with Adobe. So we had this Japanese artist saying this: I was uploading not safe for work illustrations to Adobe Cloud, and my account got banned without any prior warning. If I had known they were even monitoring the cloud like some kind of censorship, I wouldn't have trusted Adobe in the first place. I'm in the middle of filing an appeal, but if this doesn't work out, I might have to ditch Adobe altogether. They're just too high-handed. Here's the breaking free from Adobe. And you can see the message down here. But basically, Adobe is joining in the censorship crusade, where they're now...
Yep, the one that cursed out Charlie and accused him of stealing. Yep. And with this one, it's not surprising because, you know, Japanese artists always get so much shit on Twitter for the tiniest things too. They always get a lot of shit on Twitter for this, that, or the third too. We've seen it over the years. We've seen it happen every single time. So, and you know what? I always go back to what Neon brought up a couple years ago regarding Patreon. And I made no mistake. I actually follow a lot of artists on Patreon. Actually, I support a lot of artists on Patreon, in fact. But, you know, it is that underlying thing where Patreon will go out of their way, where sites like Adobe and Patreon will go out of their way to check your Google documents, to actually try to go into your Google Docs for inappropriate content. For artwork they deem inappropriate, artwork they deem not safe, you know, not up to their standards. And if Adobe wants to start policing artists for, put it this way. If Adobe wants to start policing artists for what they for the comfortability for what they do, for what they're allowed to draw, what they're allowed to the content they're allowed to create, and you want to start taking away their accounts, which, you know, that's the other thing with Adobe, the Creative Cloud, you know, it's tied to your account. So if they want to try to shut down your account, that means you may not be able to use the Creative Cloud. You may not be able to use like Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, or After Effects and stuff like that. Just because of whatever content that they deem, that you upload onto the cloud, that they deem inappropriate, that they deem, you know, this, that, or the third. And I know people come in and say the argument of, you know, it's, you know, is my private platform, so they have free reign to do what they want. And it's like, yeah, but you're actively deciding. Yeah, but this is where the slippery slope comes in. You're deciding what is not allowed. And because it's all cloud-based, meaning that, you know, your account is linked to the Creative Cloud, so you can't download and use updates and such like that. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. It is going to be a big problem. I'm just saying, guys. I'm just saying.
Watching what you do in the cloud and banning artists for their adult content, which seems a bit dystopian. Not too...
Sounds exactly what's going on with Collective Shout. Sounds exactly what's going on with these Visa and MasterCard payment processors. It sounds exactly like what it's doing. And by the way, I've stopped using Adobe for years. The only time I ever use Adobe is for Acrobat, which I have on my work PC. But that's it. When I'm at home, I use Affinity. You know, I use Affinity Publisher, Affinity Designer, Affinity Photo. It's a great alternative. There's so many great alternatives to Adobe products out there. and they're not that hard to look. My reason for wanting to get rid of Adobe Creative Cloud is because of a situation that I saw where someone kept getting charged for their Creative Cloud, despite the fact that they wanted out. Adobe makes it so hard for you to actually exit their clause. So when word got out, I immediately wanted to shut down my Adobe account. You're not going to continue taking money from me per month when I don't want to use your services anymore. And I immediately switched over to Affinity. You know, when I'm doing art on here, I use Clip Studio Paint. I know people will use Procreate. People still use Photoshop and stuff like that. A lot of favorite artists still use Photoshop, but I prefer Clip Studio Paint. But I stayed the F away from Photoshop. I stayed the F away from Illustrator and InDesign just because I despise Adobe's practices. And this is a company that I went to school for. You know what I mean? I use Clip Studio Paint. I'm using Clip Studio Paint right now. So
surprising given the current landscape we're facing right now, but very disturbing stuff. And we see this guy right here. Okay, Zenko, who is a Japanese politician. He says this in the quote, saying reports of censorship in Japan. There's been a report.
Clip Studio Paint, Neo. Clip Studio Paint.
Reported that after uploading not safe for work illustrations to Adobe's cloud service, the account was frozen without prior notice and the appeal was rejected. It is no exaggeration to say that even the contents of the cloud are now being monitored. Yeah, well, this individual, by the way, Japanese politician,
yes,
who is anti-censorship, not just for Japanese content, but globally. Yeah. This guy's doing a very great job, and I am very thankful for his work, and I'm glad to promote the guy as well. But he made another post, this time involving the Pixiv subreddit, saying this. I received a report from someone in the United States that the subreddit related to Pixiv on Reddit has suddenly been banned. The reason is still unclear, but since it was used as a platform for interaction among Pixiv's overseas users, there is concern that this could lead to a decline in Pixiv's ability to reach audiences outside Japan. It's apparently quite rare for a subreddit related to a major site to be banned. Reddit may not be familiar in Japan, but it is a major bulletin board service in English-speaking regions.
Mm-hmm.
I told you guys, Pixiv was one of the many platforms that are very popular in Japan that have been targeted for a very long time by payment processors like Visa and MasterCard. Okay, we've all noticed very recently what's going on with Steam and Itch, but over on the Japanese side of the internet, these payment processors have been cracking down on many Japanese-centric platforms and services for a very long time now. Yep. And to see the Pixiv subreddit getting banned like this.
Yep. It's been it's been crazy. It has been absolutely crazy. And then this has been something that's been going on for years. This whole censorship, specifically with Japanese content, has been going on for years at this point. And I think at some point people are just getting fed up with it. You know, Japan has gotten fed up with it, you know, and I totally understand and I respect them for it, because this is going crazy. They're just not going to stop. So yeah, this whole thing is, Rev's got a point. This whole thing has been going on for years. This shit show has been going on with Japan and for years, and they're just done putting up with all of this crap. So that's why they're pushing back.
It's all seeming very connected at this point, and very bizarre, to say the least, and concerning. Now, today we talked about censorship-related concerns involving Adobe, as well as Pixiv and Reddit. But let's move further. There's been other platforms that have been cracking down for, well, reasons, as we'll see. So now we're going to focus on the Archcast. This is a
I covered this yesterday.
YouTube channel that has been completely deplatformed by PayPal, another payment processor. So here's their post on Twitter saying this: I was just randomly deplatformed from PayPal. No reason given other than unusual activities. Nonsense, of course. And I was redirected to a page telling me about the rules of card companies. Please make sure to make some noise about this if you can and spread the word. Yeah, the reason they were given, the reason their account was ripped away and also their money was ripped away was because of unusual activity.
Yep.
Huh? What does this mean? Unusual activity. Care to explain? Now, PayPal will never explain the direct reasons why
No, they will not.
accounts like this have lost their money, not just their account, but their money they had in their account. Because if they set a specific reason why, that might be used against them. And in this case, let me just say this, guys. For any, especially content creators out there, if you have a PayPal, I beg of you, dispense your payments as soon as you get them.
Yep.
Do not let money sit in your account because
Exactly.
PayPal at any moment can drop you, as we see here.
Yep.
And what they do is they drop you, they ban your account for whatever reason, and they take your money.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, you know, your account is no longer welcome there, but your money is. Oh, your money.
Oh yeah, you're just something that you have to keep this in mind, and something that everybody has to keep in mind is that this is all of what they're doing. All of what this is they want your money. They clearly want your money. They just want you out of the picture. Basically, they want you out of the picture. They're going straight for your money. That's what it comes down to. Thanks, Loki, for the raid.
Is they will take your money and they'll basically say, go away.
Mhm.
And here's another example of this. And, you know, looking at this guy's account, like, what does he do that is so controversial that he deserves to have his PayPal account taken away? Just looking through this guy's account, right? He just looks like an anti-censorship type of guy. That's it.
Exactly.
There's nothing super controversial here. The fact that his PayPal was ripped away is insane. And the fact that PayPal can feel so disgusted
Mhm.
with his actions, but still accept his money is quite ironic. Hopefully this gets worked out. It should, but I don't have much confidence in PayPal because, well, they're untrustworthy. Now, let's move on to another example of some censorship-related concerns involving this artist, Sin. Now, what did they do? Well, their Patreon account has been deleted without notification.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, sadly, I've seen this coming for a long time now.
Yeah.
Patreon is not an advocate for free speech. They've been slowly but surely clamping down on anything they find problematic. And artists, I hope the best for you, but unfortunately, Patreon is not reliable right now. I've seen so many people have their accounts
There's a way
deleted.
because of especially what happened with Sargon a couple of years back. I remember seeing people move over from Patreon to Subscribestar because they won't, Subscribestar won't censor you. Subscribestar won't they won't censor. They won't try to take your account down for off-platform behavior. And I do remember that. I distinctively remember that.
Like this without notification or warning because they have quote-unquote problematic fictional content, and it's horrible. And apparently this person's their attempt to file an appeal was rejected as well, and it's so frustrating. I feel so bad for people like this who've been shut down for absolute nonsense, and they have a whole thread going through why their account was removed, which of course is no reason. There's no reason. And it's very frustrating. I feel for people like this. You know what? Like, I'm very careful about what I show on my YouTube videos. I don't want to get in trouble or get dinged with any sorts of systems. But like, this is the art we're talking about, right?
Exactly.
Okay. A 22-year-old and a 24-year-old MC.
OC.
Or OC. Sorry.
OC. OC.
This is it. This will get you banned from Patreon. Absolutely insane stuff. I literally don't know what else to say. Unfortunately, it's just the way things are. I mean, we've looked at like 4 or 5 different platforms engaging in arbitrary censorship, mostly not even giving a reason as to why they're doing it. And it's a sign of the times. It really is. You know, we move beyond like collective shout and the payment processors, but there's so much going on right now. And spreading the word definitely helps. And I hope everyone featured in this video finds their way back to their accounts or has some alternative. But right now, this is completely ridiculous. And I'll follow back this individual because their art's good, but also I feel for them in the situation. But yeah, just a terrible state of affairs right now. But anyways, support the people in this video, and that'll do it for now. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comments section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.
Yeah,
I'll see you next time.
This is insanity. This is absolute insanity, and something's got to change, man. Something's got to change. They're playing the victim. It's just everything that's going on. Now, before we move on to the next, before we move on to one more video I want to go over, let's go ahead and say hi to everybody in the chat. Say hi to the Raiders real quick. Keely, good to see you. Daryl, let me go ahead and make sure I play this just for you. Where is it? There you go.
My nigga.
More to Daryl. Thank you, Loki, for the raid, guys. Really appreciate that. What is going on? Yes. Thank you. Make sure my hype cast. Yes, my hype X is still going, y'all. Woo! Okay. So we got one more video I want to go over. Real quick. I didn't get a chance to cover this yesterday. I just wanted to but I do want to just get into this right now, just because it's very interesting, and it explains why myself and Jay are wearing the Clippy, having the Clippy avatar. It's a very interesting video that's going on, and it's dealing with a YouTuber who's going after a YouTuber who actually is known for how they went after Apple, in fact, and it's actually one in their case is a tech YouTuber, but he's going after kind of the censorship that has been going on, and with Microsoft and Windows 11 and such like that, and it's people are bringing up Clippy. People are asking why it's important for everybody to switch their avatars over to Clippy, because let's be honest here, what you guys are seeing with Microsoft, what you guys are seeing everything else, it is a gross overreach. Everything that's been going on is basically a gross overreach, and it kind of makes a point. Everybody disliked Clippy back in the day, but all Clippy wanted to do was just to help people help people write their stuff, help people with writing. That's all Clippy wanted to do. And they were just trying to help. It wasn't trying to hurt anybody. And you know what, Clippy, just justice for Clippy. That's all I'm gonna say. Just justice for Clippy. Just for my Clippy. Justice for Clippy. We'll say it that way, So let's go ahead and get right into this next video on why Clippy. Everybody's using the Clippy avatar right now. So let's go into right to this X Fuses. Everybody's joining the revolution, the Clippy situation. So this is coming from Luis Roseman. Roseman, I will put a link to Luis's. I will put a link to Luis's chat in the description, guys. Go ahead and check him out. Without further ado, Luis, if you please. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, it is muted. Okay, 1 second. Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Let me go unmute that real quick. My apologies. My apologies. Okay, let's start from the beginning. My apologies. Yes.
I was listening to the Facebook whistleblower hearings with Senator Josh Hawley a few months back. One of the elements that stuck out to me was when they were talking about how if an underage girl has deleted a selfie, Meta keeps track of this because they know that this person likely has low self-esteem at that moment that they deleted a picture of themselves, which means that they may be more apt to purchase something from an advertiser of a cosmetic product. And I think about this within the context of what companies used to get in trouble for and what they do, or more importantly, don't get in trouble for today. I grew up in the 90s, a time when Microsoft had hell and fury fall down upon them because they bundled a web browser with their operating system.
Yep.
Whether you think this is a good idea or not, I personally think that a web browser being installed in every single person's computer that's standards non-compliant, that is so bad that you can literally get a virus from visiting a website, has its problems. But when you look at what it is that companies got in trouble for in the 90s, it just doesn't hit the same when you look at what companies get away with now. I remember having a Dell Dimension 233 back in the day, and if you wanted to get the one that had slightly better graphics, they would give you a free installation of Microsoft Office. And with Microsoft Office back in the day, it came with Clippy. Whether or not you like Clippy and whether or not you liked Microsoft Office or having an operating system that had the browser built into it that could easily get you a virus when you visited other websites that were trying to invade your privacy, the one thing that you could say, unlike Facebook, who is trying to profit off of young girls that feel suicidal, Clippy simply wanted to help. He might have been annoying, but he just wanted to help. There were no ulterior motives. If you told Clippy that you were having a bad day, he wasn't going to use that information to try and figure out which advertiser to sell you to, nor was he trying to steal your personal data or get you to purchase other Microsoft products. He had no ulterior motives. He was simply there to help. Unlike many modern pieces of software, like what you get from Adobe or Intuit, where you can't buy QuickBooks anymore. You can't buy a video editor anymore. You have to pay a subscription fee for it.
Yeah, even Office 365 is like cloud-based. Like the ways of like what we saw with Creative Cloud, that's a subscription service. That's not a one-time purchase. The reason why I switched from Adobe to Affinity is simply because Affinity and all their products are a one-time purchase. No subscription, like no subscription fees, no subscription whatsoever. It is a one-time purchase. You buy it, you keep it forever. That's why I happily supported LibreOffice. Yeah, LibreOffice. Everyone's using that. I use WPS Office on my tablet and phone because every time I try to use Office 365, it always asks me to sign in. It always asks me to sign in, and in places where I don't have like Wi-Fi or I don't have like a connection, strong like 5G connection, then yeah, that is a problem, especially with my tablet, you know, having to rely on Wi-Fi and such like that.
If I were to boot up that computer that has not been used for 28 years and I wanted to start up Microsoft Word, I could do so without connecting to the internet. And Clippy would still be there, happy and as enthusiastic as ever, simply wanting to help. Adobe is another example of this. This is a company that tried to twist people's arms into having AI and machine learning stuff go through their personal data. Yep. Not public data, not the speeches that I give, not my website or my blog posts or my videos, but my private data, the stuff that I'm editing. And there were people that were not able to get into their account until they agreed to this new end user license agreement. When they are looking for access to your data, They're doing so because they want to train an AI on how to do what you do without paying you, without your consent.
Oh yeah.
Clippy simply wanted to help. When Clippy would ask you if you wanted help with writing your letter,
Adobe got so much flack for that, by the way. Adobe got so much flack for their AI machine learning and basically, having to, and it's kind of like what we saw with DeviantArt in that artists and creators are basically basically embroidered into the program, into the AI program for machine learning without their consent. Without their consent, without, their approval, basically. And that is an overreach, and that is a breach of privacy as well.
Clippy wouldn't even read the contents of your letter. He just wanted to offer suggestions. Game of Thrones had, I'm not going to spoiler alert, there's this Sons of the Harpy in season 5. They were these people that wore masks and they pushed back against the new regime. And the purpose of the mask was to let the leaders know that when you see people with this mask, we are against you and your new regime, and we are going to push back against it as often as we can. And the worry with the Sons of the Harpy mask is that it starts with one person putting the mask on. And then somebody else gains the balls to put the mask on. And then 20 or 40 or 100 of them put the mask on. And once 100 or 1,000 of them put the mask on, there's nothing that the leaders can do at that point. Enough people have put it on, and enough people have come together with solidarity. And they're going to do something about it. Now, granted, this may not be the best analogy because it was spoiler alert. They were trying to bring back slavery, and they also were just bad people. Khaleesi kind of became a shitbag at that point, too. But besides, I think that Clippy is like a modern day Sons of the Harpy mask. If you're tired of companies changing the terms of the sale after the sale and getting away with it, turn your profile photo to a Clippy. If you're tired of companies that have the ability to reach into your house and ransomware your products so that they stop working unless you pay them again, claiming that that's legal, but then when somebody tries to give you back access to what you bought and paid for, that's illegal, change your profile photo to a Clippy. If you're tired of sex bots invading the comment section on a regular basis and their comments always posting with no problem, but your comments being censored even when you're not saying anything that bad, change your profile picture to a Clippy. If Google, being one of the premier data mining companies on earth, not being able to tell that little fucking cat with 2 pillows next to it that they try to make look like an ass so that thirsty young men click it as they normalize sex trafficking on the platform that doesn't allow you to express an opinion bothers you, change your profile picture to a Clippy. And let them know that you're not happy. Clippy never tried to normalize sex trafficking. He just wanted to help. If you're tired of companies saying out loud that the reason they want to keep you from fixing what you bought and paid for is that may take money away from them, change your profile photo to a Clippy. I never expected to win the legislative battle. It would be nice if I did, but it was never something that I set as I need to do this or I'm a failure. What I always hoped to do was win the cultural battle, where all of you understand what's going on and you decide that enough is enough. If I ever have a chance in my personal life to push back against this, I will. You're maybe not going to send that email that you're supposed to send to Interso to tell them, oh, by the way, make sure this chip doesn't end up on Mouser.com. Here's an NDA, blah, 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 supplier agreement. Maybe you just forget to send that email. When there's a new consumer rights law that the senator that you work for is on the fence about supporting, and there's a lobbyist that's going to be against it that wants to have dinner. Whoops, maybe their invitation went to spam. I didn't see that. Sorry, boss. Maybe you quit before you create a fake paywall to test if your customers will pay again for what they already paid for. Or maybe when you send out that ransomware firmware update, you make it opt-in instead of opt-out. Whoopsie, if in some bizarro world it is actually illegal to make a thermostat work again, and this bastard of a CEO decides to try and get the individual in trouble, 10 cases to prosecute, only got time for 6. Maybe I just ignore this one. When a company CEO logs into their Slack and sees 10,000 Clippies looking back at them, what I hope occurs is that they intuitively understand that they no longer live in a world where they can get away with fucking over the consumer. That their employees, their partners are not going to be accomplices to this anymore. That they are alert and they are aware of what is going on, and they are going to politely but firmly push back against it. Every single one of those 10,000 people will be an obstacle to the anti-consumer practices and the anti-ownership.
And the thing is, Emerald. The thing is, Emerald, is that, I appreciate the fact that you switched to one of the best girls in Nikkei Noir, chocolate, big titty chocolate bunny noir. Even with the profile change, I'll still see YouTube hiding even your comments on my community posts, and that's why I still pin them, just so that they're much more visible. Every time I see community posts, every time I make a community post, I always check the new comments, because YouTube has that tendency to keep hiding comments, and I tend to pin them all the time, just so that their comments are seen and noted. So yeah, they're still doing that. I don't know what
practices, and it will no longer be another cog in the assembly line sending us all into a dystopia. There will be a moment where that one person who usually would not have a say in anything can be activated, and in that moment, keep the world from sliding further into a dystopia, or help push it forward in the opposite direction. But we all have to get together, and the first step is making it public that we know what's going on. That starts with a Clippy. On YouTube, if you're with me, I ask that you change your profile picture to a Clippy. At work, change your Slack profile picture to a Clippy. If you work at the White House, don't take down the United States flag, but somewhere on the grounds, put up a flag of a Clippy. Clippy is a symbol that what used to be considered one of the worst annoyances in our life would now not only be welcomed, but for all of his flaws, celebrated as an idol. Because for all of these things that occur right now, where there is negative malice of intent, I want to take away what you own. I want to take this back. I want to get your data. I want to sell you to an advertiser when I know that you're crying. Clippy just wanted to help. And if you were to turn him on today, unlike most cloud bullshit, he'd still work. Hulu Foundation is going to be announcing the winners to both the Future Home Bounty and the Echelon Bikes Bounty within the next month. Us offering 5,000 here, 20,000 there. It pushes the ball forward. But at the end of the day, that does nothing in contrast to organizing all of you. We're happy to get the ball rolling, but for us to truly win, we need to show that if you push us, Clippy clips back. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you all in the next video.
And I'm totally behind this. And, you know, and I think I'm totally behind this. I think a lot of people, comments get hidden on live streams. Exactly. You know, I'm totally behind this. I'm totally behind this. A lot of people are pretty much behind this initiative. You know, a lot of people are definitely behind this initiative, even if they don't use, but they get the sentiment. People do get the people really do get the sentiment, which is what the heck is going on with all of this, just with all of this nonsense, you know, just with all of this nonsense, basically. So as it is 7:24, so I'm gonna go for another 20 minutes. As we are getting to as we're gonna keep working on getting the flats ready for Kiki. My final thoughts here is that I'll keep Clippy up. I'll definitely continue to keep Clippy up, and I just because I understand the cause, I understand why people want to just because this whole thing, and I think that, you know, a good portion of this did stem from the fact that, you know, everything has been switched over to, you know, the cloud service. Everything's been switched over to cloud service. You know, everything is, you know, you're doing everything on the cloud. You're doing everything through, you know, you're doing everything through cloud service, through a subscription service. You don't really claim ownership. You don't have like full ownership of your own content anymore, of what you purchase and shit like that. It's just Bonzi Buddy walks of Google and Medica. Yeah. And the whole thing is that, like, you know, this whole thing is just an attack on censorship, and it's blatantly, and it's so blatant about it. That's the thing. It is so blatant, you know. It's so coming so blatant, and this is on censorship. This is just not on, you know, control. This is on consumer rights. If you want to go much further with that this is on attack on consumer rights. And I think that's more and more, it feels like it's being more and more, you know, taken away. That's what it feels like. It feels like it's being more and more taken away as time goes on, as you know, a lot of the companies are, you know, having that more power and such like that over what you can and can't do, what you can and can't post. And it's like that. It's just, it's crazy. It is simply it's just simply insanity, you know, with what's going on right now. And I do think that, you know, of course, you know, my fight is with the censorship and with eliminating freedom of expression, the censorship and elimination of freedom of expression. But as what we've been seeing for the past couple of weeks, and honestly for this past month, that it has escalated beyond that. This whole thing with the censorship and everything, with people wanting to take these groups like Collective Shout, wanting to be the moral arbiter on what you can and can't, what you can and cannot create, what you can and cannot buy with your own money, is insanity. It's true insanity, and it's all happening at once. It's all happening together at the same time. That's why it's a coordinated effort. It is a blatant coordinated effort. It's a Trojan horse. That's why I'm not completely on the fence. That's why I'm not completely on board with Trump signing this executive order against payment processors, because for one, it's not a global thing. The censorship issue, is you're only limiting it to here in the States, when this whole situation has gone global. You're hearing every other day now of this country wanting to implement what UK is doing with the Kids Online Safety Act. The upcoming implementation of YouTube's AI driven algorithm to determine if your channel is 18, if your channel is of age, basically. And if it's not, they're going to restrict your content. And if it turns out that the AI had made a mistake, if the AI ended up making a mistake, then you will have to show your ID. That's what it's going to come down to. You're going to have to show your ID to prove that your channel is over 18, and that's what people want. That's what they want. That's what I see it as. Just like, it's just public. It feels like it's public doxing. Basically, it's that elimination of privacy, that elimination of anonymity under the guise of protecting children. Now, I understand that we got 16 people watching, and that's simply because of who's on screen right now. So just so I appreciate that, guys. Smack that like button, make it jiggle. It is Kiki. Little fun fact is eliminate those restrictions. No, I'm noticing 60 people are watching, so I'm assuming that it's for Kiki right now. And it's probably for some of y'all, it's the first time you saw Kiki without the bubble gum. So that's what she looks like without the bubble gum. So which, by the way, I do have a bubble gum variation, as you can see here. Let me turn this art off, and let me turn it out. So yeah, I do have a bubblegum variation. So I just want to share that. Oh no, you guys love that. Actually, fun fact. Oh, that's about John Chocolate. Actually, fun fact. I have a little fun fact about Kiki, though, is that she's half Latina. I you know what? I was like, the more I think about it, the more I'm just like, yeah. I was like, the more how kind of like how her skin is like very light too. And that, yeah, she's half Latina. That's why. She is half Latina. She is Latina. So I feel like that makes perfect sense. We enjoy chocolate, especially dark chocolate. Yes, that makes it even better. DOJ's like, that makes it even better. There you go. That's a little fun fact about Kiki. She's half Latina, so. You guys look like that. This stems from parents not doing their job, checking on their kids, watching, which shouldn't be punished for that. Exactly, and that's what it comes down to. Daryl, you know it. A lot of people in my chat. I know people in my chat. My co-hosts, they're all parents too, and my co-hosts are parents. My co-host is a mom. you know, you're a father as well. You guys know it. You guys know it, and it stems from the government now officially wants to be the parent now. The government wants to be the parent. And, you know, and Mama Bear yesterday made a really good point that, you know, parental controls can only go so far. However, she understood that this is a gross overreach, that this is not going to go in the right direction whatsoever. So it's crazy. It's crazy. So it's so fucking great. It is so crazy, guys. Like, seriously. Let me. Yeah, it's just insanity, man. It reminds me. Yeah, parents don't exist anymore, to be honest. That's what it feels like. Parents don't exist anymore because, you know, us being put in front of the you think about you think about like Gen Z and Gen Alpha, you know, us being kind of, you know, us you know, that generation growing up in the you know, the iPad generation, in the tablet generation, you know what I mean? My Skitter OC McKenna was originally half Latina, but I we're Caribbean nice. It was just like a figure. That's just what it comes down to. Let me hold on to this. Let me move this here. So this one's gonna be for hair. But it's just insanity. It's just absolute insanity. And you know, more and more I'm leaning towards a more decentralized. Well, that's what they're trying to do. Is they're trying to make the internet. They're trying to split the internet off. That's what it comes down to. They are trying. They ultimately want to split the internet off in multiple ways, in multiple different sections. They want to fracture the internet to where they have, in sections to where they have complete control over everything. That's what it comes down to. And that's what it ultimately comes down to. You see that with Collective Shout. It's control. That's what they want. They got a taste of that control when they banned all those adult games from Steam and itch.io. And by the way, the thing you have to keep in mind is that with those adult games, some of those games, there are probably plenty of innocent games that didn't even fit those parameters that ultimately got caught in the crossfire. Something you have to keep in mind is that, and this is probably the reason why they won't ever say exactly what games got banned, because I can guarantee you that some of those games weren't even like adult at all. It just came down to stuff that they didn't like, and they just ended up getting caught in the crossfire. You know, I may not be, you know, I'm not going to play those kind of games. It's not my thing, but I defend their right to exist on platforms like Steam and itch.io. You know, they and the thing is with these groups, with these abhorrent people, is that whenever something goes their way, they will brag about it to the heavens, and that just exposes what that exposes them. Basically, they end up getting caught in 4K bragging about it, you know. So that's why I say, you know, more and more, you know, people need to. That's why I think it's important for us to not let up, because I think the moment we do, that's just going to give them more. You know, that's just going to give them more carte blanche to continue this act of, you know, taking people's freedom of choice away, taking people's freedom of expression away. And they're on there wanting to cry about freedom of speech when they have no problem stepping on the speech of others. They have no problem. They have no problem. Taking away other people's right to choose, other people's right to view content. I know I'm going off on a big of a I know I'm really going off on this, but I think this is important. I think everything that's been going on here, I think that this is the most important story in video games this year. I don't think no other story will top this, because everybody is affected. Everybody is affected. If you want to lose 100 pounds, you start with losing 5 pounds and work your way up. Exactly. You start with losing 5 pounds and work your way up. Exactly. So yeah, this is going to get it's going to get worse. This whole thing is going to get worse before it gets better. And a part of me is just so worried. How are we having 19 people watching? Jesus Christ. A part of me is so worried that we might be too late. A part of me, and I will admit to that, part of me is really worried that we might be too late, though. We'll have to see. It's just, you just have to keep putting the pressure on. You can't let up. And the thing is that you want to call, people want to call gamers, toxic, this, that, or the third, but you can't deny that as generally gamers are resilient. They are completely resilient, and gamers generally do not go down without a fight. It's almost like, you're the cut because, you're the cut because the people that should matter the most is the customer, the people who's actually buying the product. And people are rallying together, pushing back. They're not going to let and this is not a left, and to anybody who thinks that this is somehow a left versus right issue, this isn't. It just simply is not. Because as we saw with the Kids Online Safety Act, both Democrats and Republicans are all on board with this. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you, but I'm not going to stop talking about this. People are not going to stop talking about this. But I don't think that, Trump's executive order against, Visa and payment processors like Visa and MasterCard, it can easily be negated once the next president steps in. It's only applicable to here and not worldwide. While I think there's good intentions, and the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and while I think there's clearly the heart's in the right place, you're saying kind of the right things, but there's a lot of worry. We've seen stuff like this fall. We've seen stuff like this fall over. We've seen stuff like this just fall apart. And in worst case scenario, we've seen stuff like this become much worse, become an oversight, become a Trojan horse in of itself. Become a Trojan horse in and of itself, it's almost like you're looking at worst, you're looking at the new Patriot Act. You are looking at the new Patriot Act, and that is it's crazy. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But the thing is, everybody is in unison. Everybody is, all of these, you hear stuff in Australia wanting to limit YouTube, Australia wanting to, the Kids Online Safety Act, the UK Online Safety Act, which stems from that. And I'm hoping that the pushback is strong enough that, PMs like, Keir Starmer, prime UK prime, PMs are getting enough blowback from it. If anything, like, the whole thing with the UK Online Safety Act is going to affect everybody, is affecting everyone. And we're all already seeing it affect everyone under the guise of, and this is the thing that you guys have to not fall for this. They claim this is under the guise of protecting children when it's not. It is not. The same way that Collective Shout wants to claim that it's all under the guise of protecting children, women and children, protecting abuse victims, when have we actually seen instances has show me one instance of an actual child, an actual woman being physically or mentally hurt by the existence of these games on Steam or itch.io. These games wouldn't even be, nobody would even know about these games if it wasn't for a Collective Shout running their mouth about it. Bringing them attention. Nobody heard of No Mercy until Collective Shout went on a campaign to get it completely banned earlier this year. So tell me who was actually hurt by the existence of this game being on the platform. And I'm just led to believe that you guys actively went out against, you guys actively went out of your way to find this game and get it banned. Not just get it banned from Steam or itch.io, just get it banned everywhere. It's not that they don't want one game, it's not that they don't want these games banned from one payment, from one store. They want it banned everywhere so you can't access it, period. That's what they ultimately want. And believe me, they're going to try to do the same with GTA 6. They're going to do the same with GTA 6. As if GTA 6 hasn't been, if GTA 6 hasn't been, let's be honest, if GTA 6 hasn't been compromised as it is. Oh, yeah, I'm being very happy on this. So anyway, you know what? I'm gonna leave this with this image of Kiki right in front, because I gotta figure out the color scheme for the outfit now. I gotta figure out the color scheme for the outfit. So if you guys have any ideas, let me know. But anyway, you guys have all been absolutely amazing. I can't thank you guys enough. Despite the fact we're losing subscribers, it's so weird. It's so weird, but I think it just comes down to YouTube is actively throttling. YouTube is actively throttling any videos or live streams talking about the censorship. And I think that's what it really does come down to. YouTube is actively throttling what is the censorship talk, the censorship debacle. TV Reviews even mentioned earlier that, yeah, he's seeing his view counts and seeing stuff get, throttled because of talking about the censorship. And even when people bring up, the changes that YouTube will implement on Wednesday, even that's getting banned on subreddits. They don't want you talking about this ultimately. They really, really don't want you talking about this. And it just makes it sound like, okay, who has more to hide? Who's actually hiding something? What do you have to hide? That's what it comes down to. And once again, as we brought up yesterday on Makini Live, it's so interesting that you guys want to shut down freedom of expression and shit like that. And all of these stuff is being implemented for the sake of protecting children, yet they haven't released the list. All this talk, and yet you haven't released the list. Makes you think, doesn't it? Really makes you think. Those files are, yeah. It just makes me believe that it's all incriminating. It's really, really incriminating. So anyway, that's it. You know, that's my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comment section down below, guys. You guys have been absolutely amazing. And guys, please comment too. Please leave a comment on the stream because to get engagement, because apparently I think that's the only way I'm going to be able to get out of this funk and get out of this funk and into 4K is to and get to 4K is by getting more engagement. We need the streams. I probably do need to get back into making videos again, just so it can drive some more engagement going on. It's really important, and it's getting crazy out there. Anyway, smack that like button, make it jiggle. Smack that subscribe button, make it jiggle. Let me know what you guys think of Kiki's new look. She's got the side cornrow. She's got the parted curls, but she's got the side cornrows as well. Braids. She's got the braids too. So it's a very, very interesting. Anyway, smack the like button, make it jiggle. Smack the subscribe button, make it jiggle. Massive thank you to everybody in the cute, sexy, and fun nation. If you guys want to get access to exclusive art drops, channel member emojis that I do every 2 months for my channel members, please join CSF Nation for as low as $1 a month. You are in excellent company. Thank you to all of my CSF Nation members, past and present. And thank you guys for the incredible support. And I will see you all next time. I'm Makini 90, art streamer and illustrator. And thank you for getting your morning started off on the right foot with us here on Makini in the morning. Until then, stay cute, stay sexy, have fun, take care, much love. Never apologize for wanting attractive women in your media, especially in video games, because they are taking it away from you. Don't believe me? Just see what's going on. Collective Shout. They are actively taken away from you. And above all else, never stop drawing. Have a great rest of your Monday, guys. I will be posting stuff to the community tab, so you guys will be you guys will keep it, so you guys will stay updated with me. Now you guys have voted, and thank you guys for everybody's feedback. It might be tomorrow or Wednesday that we'll do a silent. We'll do a silent stream. We'll do another muted draw stream where I can just focus on the art and such like that. But you guys have been amazing. Until then, I love y'all. Make sure I get my outro ready. Let me get my outro ready real quick. I love y'all. Peace.
Cute, sexy, and fun. And that is definitely the best way to describe our channel members too. We'd like to thank everyone in the CSF Nation for your incredible support. Join the channel for as low as $1 a month to get access to exclusive art drops that Makini drops every 2 months for his channel members. And all your support goes to helping out the channel and helping Makini put out the best content he can for you all to view and you all to enjoy. We appreciate all of your support, and we also appreciate your support as well. CSF Nation for life. Mwah! Gracias. Thank you for tuning in to Makini in the Morning and getting your morning started off on the right foot with us. If you enjoy this program, please smack that like button and make it jiggle. Share the show out to everyone you know. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell everyone. Become a channel member for as low as $1 a month. You want to support Makini further, and if you want to see more content from Makini and help him reach his 6K subscriber goal, hit that subscribe button. He would really, really appreciate it. I am Marisa Tali, producer and weather girl for this very program, and we all wish you a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Stay safe out there. We will see you all next time here on Makini in the Morning. Mwah! Makini in the Morning is filmed before a live studio audience at Makini Studios in Arcadia Village's South Tower, right here in Pacifica City. We know that you guys love waking up with us here on Makini in the Morning, but if you would like to actually be in the live taping of Makini in the Morning, all you have to do is visit youtube.com/Makini90 or call 765-9077 toll free for free tickets. We would love to see you here in the audience for our next Makini in the Morning live show. The Morning is produced by Silver Nine Productions with Makini Jaws Productions in association with Enisa Laka Television and Makar Banks Entertainment, and is distributed by CSF Nation Domestic Television Distribution.